In 1873, the small town of Colfax, Louisiana became the site of one of the deadliest and most brutal attacks of racial violence in American history. Right before the 1872 election, there was growing resentment between Southern Democrats, who were former slave owners, and the federal government. The 1872 Louisiana governor's race ended in a tie. President Ulysses Grant sent federal troops in to support the Republican candidate. In response, white Democrats formed paramilitary groups like the White League. They attacked, threatened, and killed black people and white Republicans to intimidate them from voting. Out of fear that Democrats would take control of Grant Parish, an all-black militia took over the courthouse. 150 white men, former Confederates, and Klansmen, along with the White League members, armed themselves and marched to the courthouse. A gun battle started and eventually ended. The black militia surrendered and left the courthouse. Instead of just capturing the men, the white mob murdered all of the black men in the militia by shooting or hanging them. Over 150 black men were killed in the massacre, with many more injured or forced to flee for their lives. 97 men in the white mob were indicted, but only 9 were charged. The 9 men who were charged appealed this ruling. Eventually, the Supreme Court overturned their convictions. Today, the Colfax Massacre stands as a tragic reminder of the ongoing struggle for racial justice and equality in America. Reparations is due to descendants of those massacred at Colfax and many other massacres that occurred around this time. Remember the victims of the Colfax Massacre and continue the fight for a more just and equitable future.
In 1873, in Colfax, Louisiana, 150 black people were murdered by a white mob because they were protesting their inability to be politically represented. Congress says, we can't allow that kind of violence. We're going to have our federal prosecutors prosecute those people for that violence. And white people are convicted. And the United States Supreme Court says, no, Congress doesn't have the authority to prevent that kind of violent intimidation. States have rights, and the federal government can't impinge on those rights. So this era, I think, does something significant to the credibility, the integrity of the United States Supreme Court. It became a tool for sustaining racial violence, white supremacy, and exploitation of black people.
Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to all my brothers out here preaching this truth to you, I say Shalom. This is a Montazar from the Chicago camp coming back at you again with another lesson entitled 1873 Colfax, Louisiana Massacre 7. So if you've been following me, I've been bringing forth these massacres that happened during the construction period or during the construction era. Actually, they started right before the end of the Civil War. All right, with the massacres in New York, the draft riots. Yeah, the New York draft riots. So that was the first massacre. So we're at number 7 of, I think I had about 16 of them. But watching those 2 short videos, the bottom line is, Jake is under the curses. All right. We're over here for being disobedient, not following law, statutes, and commandments. So we're under the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. All right. And these heathen will put over us, okay, for us to go through the judgment. All right. So the Colfax Massacre, again, it says the Colfax Massacre, sometimes referred to as the Colfax Riot, occurred on Easter Sunday, April 13th, 1873, in Colfax, Louisiana, the parish seat of Grant Parish. An estimated 62 to 153 black militiamen were murdered while surrendering to a mob of Confederate soldiers and the members of the Ku Klux Klan. 3 white men also died during the confrontation. And anytime they say estimated, okay, you always go with the higher number. All right, because Esau is a known liar. All right, you always go with the higher number. All right, so we see that the Colfax massacre was part of the Reconstruction era. All right, gathering the dead after the Colfax massacre. You see, this is published in Harper's Weekly, May 10th, 1873. So it says the results: the attackers were put on trial, and attackers were later released. All right, so uh, not all the attackers were put on trial. Okay, 9 of them went to trial, and then they were shortly they were released. Okay, and that lines up with scripture. Okay, um, they are not in trouble as other men. Let me get that since I not in trouble as other men. This is Psalm 73. Okay. Um, I'm going to start off at 73 and 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasses them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Okay? They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. All right, so that wasn't in my notes. That was just a precept that came to me at the moment. All right, but it was necessary. So Spirit brought that out. All right, so let's look at Deuteronomy 28 and 25 says, Yahweh shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. All right, so the Israelites were scattered, all right, throughout the 4 corners of the earth. All right, and here's an example: this Colfax massacre. Okay, these men surrendered and were still executed. They were executed. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. Okay, so the cause of all of this intimidation, okay, was power and equality. And so while Jake was trying to get that equality and having the so-called right to vote, right, Esau was trying his best to intimidate him to the point where he had murder on his heart. He was killing Jake to keep Jake from voting. Okay. Nahum 3 and 1 says, Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. Okay. And who was the prey? The prey are the Israelites. Zechariah 11 and 5. It says, Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Okay. Um, so yeah, the possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. So here you got the Supreme Court trying to charge them, all right, and prosecute them, and then they got some slick backroom deal, and these same guys got off. Habakkuk 1 and 2. It says, O Yahweh, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and are that there are that raise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceeded. Behold, ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days which ye will not believe, though it be told you. Okay. And under heaven, all right, nothing, no evil has been done as what has been done on the Israelites. Okay. And when I say Israelites, I'm talking about so called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay. Isaiah 47 and 1 says, Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg and uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. And as for our Redeemer, Yahweh, Salakia. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Okay. I was wrought with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke, and thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither did thou remember the latter end of it. Okay? All right, so the Lord said he was upset with his people. He polluted his own inheritance, all right, and has given them into thy hand, all right, and we were shown no mercy. All right, but the payback is coming. All right, this is Isaiah 47 and 8. It says, Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that saith in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Okay? Thou hast said, None seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Okay? So the payback is coming. All right? This has been 1873 Colfax, Louisiana Massacre. I pray that this lesson has been edifying. Until the next one, Shalom.